Good. So I think we're live today. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. We'll have a short live webinar where we'll be discussing about social media reporting. For those who are new today, I am Adina, co-founder at Social Insider, and today with me is Duncan Colman, director at Spike. Duncan has has 20 years experience in marketing, a veteran, I would say, exceeding so many trends and best practices. He started as a brand marketer for the automotive industries, and for the last 9 years, he's a director of Spike, where they scale e-commerce brands. Hello, Duncan. Thank you so much for joining me today. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks, Adina. Yeah, good to chat to you. How are you?
I'm good. I'm super excited to discuss more about our team we established for this live. Our objective is to teach the social media manager and those who are working in digital agencies everything about reporting, what formats, the good, the bad, and the ugly about reports. So if you have questions during this live, just chat with us on the comment section, and we'll answer you during this live. Good. But before getting into the subject, Duncan, tell me more about you. How did you start your career in marketing, and a few words about Spike?
Sure, yeah. So I studied marketing at university in Huddersfield in the UK, and I love working in marketing. And for the first period of my career, I only worked in client-side marketing roles. Worked with some, worked for some great brands. Worked for Mercedes, Motors.co.uk. And then spent a few years also working in the health and fitness industry, and always worked in marketing and then digital marketing in the sort of last sort of like 12, 13 years. And in terms of Spike, I own the business with Rob Powell, and our kind of focus is to work with a small number of clients. And deliver as much value as we can, primarily in the areas of search engine marketing, so PPC and SEO. We've then built up a really good team, really good in digital PR, and all of those areas touch on social. Primarily organic social is something that we like to measure and we like to consult upon. It's not one of our more dominant areas in terms of having to prove return on investment, because we've always gone out to businesses and we've said, look, in terms of community management and getting your brand message out there, that's always best done by companies, and having in-house people, in-house social media managers is something that we really believe on. And then if you want some creative ideas, external train of thought for new ideas, then come to Spike.
Great, thank you. So getting back to the subject for today, why is it important to create social media reports?
Yeah, so our clients value their sort of monthly reports because it protects their investment. So they know exactly what we're doing, what our strategy is, what work we've carried out in any given month, and it means that they can pass that information to any of their peers, anyone who's senior to them. And we've only really started reporting on social media in the last few months, because, as I say, it's something that touches on all of our primary service areas, but we're not actually a social media agency. Okay. So we, for example, we find that digital PR results will be enhanced by really good social media activity, and that if that social media activity is owned in-house, then we want to measure their effectiveness, and we don't want that to be something that can hinder our performance in digital PR. So we can then provide great information now through Social Insider, and it's something that historically, if we were to report on areas outside of the sort of Google Ads and Google Analytics areas, we'd have to download a PDF or provide a report from an external software provider. So we've got lots of different tools in other areas of digital marketing, but we prefer to sort of bring all of that data into one area so that it's easy for a business to go through and not have like multiple reports in lots of different formats. So we find the fact that we can synchronize and integrate the information from Social Insider through Google Data Studio a really useful thing. So we use Google Data Studio because so much of our work is Google focused in terms of getting traffic to websites and managing Google Ads. So we a lot of the time when we're looking for software providers, we'll check and see if they have a connection with Google Data Studio, because that's the direction for all of our reporting. And then to work with you guys working with the Social Insider team to integrate that data you've got a lot of help, because Google Data Studio is a great application, but it's a little bit fiddly. So to get everything working and get everything right and automated is, once you get to that point, then everything's really easy, and everything flows each month. So very positive.
Yeah, only you have to refresh the dashboard that you create and get all the metrics from different dashboards.
Yeah, because there's two things to consider when we're ever merging data from a resource. Is how do you actually establish the connection and understanding that from the Social Insider side of things, and then actually using Data Studio in terms of dimensions and metrics. And so that can take a little bit of learning, but as I say, once we've actually got a template for one client in terms of the things that we really value and we want to measure and show and comment on it each month, then that's really easy for us to then break out into other client reports.
Yes, I understand. Can you tell me what metrics do you include in this integrated report? It doesn't matter if it doesn't refer only to social media. Maybe if you are referring to a PR campaign or.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So in our digital marketing reports, we will include website engagement and website traffic. In terms of the bulk of our work is in search engine optimization. So we provide in-depth information in terms of keyword rankings, and then we move on to if a business is working with all of the areas like pay-per-click, for example, we'll then provide campaign level stats in terms of cost per acquisitions and total spend and everything like that. And then in terms of PR, we'll provide a bit of a sort of campaign summary in terms of the content that we've created, the ideas that have then underpinned our press releases and our outreach, and then coverage landed, and then within that coverage, if there's been any backlinks to websites, because we know that has a powerful impact in terms of SEO. But then moving on to where we're really kind of excited in terms of like the social piece, is that we'll now be able to report on things like engagement rates and likes and comments at a post level. We can do that by social networks. So if we're working with a company that are really interested in improving their activity within Instagram, then we can have a page that's all about Instagram engagement. And you've seen my post today on LinkedIn, is that we really try and push businesses towards focusing primarily on engagement, and that's just because we see their competitors really try and grow the vanity metric of followers and likes, and that can be inflated quite easily with paid media, use of paid media, which can be
Yes.
lots of low value, even bot activity. So we really try and understand on a month by month basis. Can we see like improving areas of engagement? And we've talked recently about the social media industry benchmarks that Social Insider do. So then again, if we're working with an e-commerce business and we know where the benchmark is from, a huge sample size of social media accounts, then we can kind of say, well, actually, our client is performing better than average, and then we can compare post-level history against engagement at a post in the last 28 days through our Google Data Studio, and then we can really get a good feeling on, are things working? Are we going in the right direction? So it's all really useful stuff.
Yes. Maybe, especially because engagement drives conversation and gives you more value about how your brand is perceived in social media, how your audience responds to what you are selling or what you are or your brand values. And yes, engagement is a metric that everyone should follow on social media. How often do you create this kind of reports, or how do you communicate this? How do you send this type of reports to your clients?
Yeah, so we send the majority of our reports will be sent to our clients on a monthly basis, and then we, at the same time of sending the report to the client, we then book a time in. No face-to-face meetings at the moment, unfortunately. But we do monthly video calls, and then we'll go through the Data Studio report, and we'll have discussions in and around the graphs that are in it.
Okay, we have some questions here from Facebook. Elena asks us, what do you think is the biggest challenge when creating a report?
Okay, yeah. So we've recently done similar work that we've done with Social Insider with other software providers, and I find, because we have taken the direction of using Google Data Studio, I'm sure the team at Spike would agree that integrating and connecting to an external data source is the hardest part of using Data Studio. So once you've actually got the connection up and running, and you have to test sometimes for a few hours to actually create the graphs that you want to see, and the tables of information that you want to see. But so I think really, in a nutshell, it's actually the time that it takes to automate the data and get it in a presentable format. And I think once you've got to that point, then everything's really easy. That approach is much better than taking static screenshots or using images, because it saves on time, and it just means that you can use that time for strategy and analyzing the data, as opposed to lots and lots of manual reporting.
Yes, I understand. Before integrated Google Data Studio into your included into your reporting process, what did you use? What formats did you use and send to clients?
Sure. Yeah. Well, we used to literally use PDFs. So it would be, we'd use Microsoft PowerPoint or we use Microsoft Word, and the reason why we did that is because, as I said before, Spike only have a small number of clients, so we didn't need to use like Microsoft BI or any more enterprise level tool. And so we were literally just handwriting bespoke documents that were more like I used to call them more like an analysis, right? So this wasn't just like something that would have 30 pages with lots of different graphs that no one would really look at and they say, oh, thanks very much, I've got my report. This would be an in-depth commentary on not only the work that we've done, but the performance of that website and the impact that that would have on the business. So it was all bespokely done, and then I concluded that we needed something that was going to take us to a much better level, and that was where we started to see quite a lot of digital marketing agencies use Data Studio, and I think it can have its issues, as I say, in terms of integrating new data sources, particularly non-Google data sources. But when you get things right, then you can, I think the output of our reporting is really come on, and we'll continue to push that.
Yes. I know that getting data is easy, but maybe getting insights on that data is usually hard. How much time do you spend on creating actionable insights for your clients?
It's a very good question. It's something that we're starting to do more of, and so it really comes back to what I was saying before in terms of the client doing a lot of that analysis themselves, because it's quite time consuming. So we probably look in depth at not only the sort of overriding, let's say it's average comments per post. We'll work with probably 2 businesses where we're looking in detail at virtually each and every comment that will be on those posts, and then from whether it's from a brand point of view or from a customer service point of view, we'll then start to draw some conclusions and
Yes.
recommendations from that level of detailed analysis. So each year we'll do more of that, but each year it's not like we'll do that for like 10 businesses. That'll be for a very low number of companies.
Okay, so I understand. Another question that we have here is how easy is for clients to understand the report? How they prefer to have the reports in most cases?
That's a really good question. Yeah. So again, I think the key with any reporting really is to make sure that the first version is going to be something that business is going to use. So, if you go out to 10 people and you give them the same report and the same template, and you don't ask them what they're interested in and ask them what they want, then you run the risk of, maybe 5 of those 10 people, maybe more, never really looking at it and never really valuing it. And that's one of the benefits I see from us being able to use the modular approach with Data Studio. So some of the businesses that we work with will have, a 15-page report. Some of the businesses we work with will only need 4 pages because they want to get to their KPIs, and they want to get to that information really quickly.
So basically, Google Data Studio help you streamline this process, and also helps you deliver what they really want to know, your clients.
Yeah. So, for example, in month 1 of working with a new business, you could before you go into the time that it takes to make your new report, you could ask that business exactly what they want and what they don't want. Ask them if we provide you with 2 to 3 pages on your most popular posts, are you going to look at that? Are you going to take the time out again to form your own opinions and have your own insights? And so we find from that point of view that that less is more. So again, the things that a business is passionate about, they will understand those things. So if a business is engaged with you in terms of using social media consultancy, then they're probably going to understand things like engagement rates per post and average likes per post. They're pretty simple metrics to come to grips with. But I think it's a good point, because I think bad reporting is where there's lots of information, it's not explained, there's no commentary, and it's almost deliberately using maybe jargon, or here's some really complicated line graphs that don't really mean anything to anyone. Yeah, most of our reports are pretty concise and pretty straightforward.
Yes, basically your suggestion here is to add less metrics and make sure that they are explaining to your clients to make sure that they understand the metrics, they understand what they represent.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Can you describe the job description of the person who received your reports?
Yeah. I mean, we've got one or two definite job roles in terms of people that we work with. So we work with e-commerce managers. As you sort of mentioned, Spiker are all about working on e-commerce projects and helping businesses scale into ideally becoming a brand. And so we work with e-commerce managers. We also work with whether it's an SEO manager or a head of digital acquisition. It's normally someone with a good grounding and a good knowledge in search. That could be SEO and it could be pay-per-click advertising, and then in that the third area would be someone who's got like a really good understanding of digital PR. Digital marketing managers, e-commerce managers, and SEO managers in the main.
Okay, because I think it's important to know for whom you are creating this type of reporting, to understand their jobs. Definitely. And to maybe add the KPIs that they need to see, and they need to send them to their managers as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Good. So I think I'm done today. There are no more questions for us in this live.
Cool.
I have to summarize some your ideas in this live. So it's important for those who are working in digital agencies. It's important to create social media reports as a way to communicate to your clients and to prove your performance and to prove the social media ROI and marketing ROI in general. It's better to create integrated reports if you maybe, let's say, if you send them to a director or a marketing manager, and add less metrics into your reports, because as Duncan said, less is more, and in this way you will make sure that they read your report and they understand the data. And for those who are on enterprises level, Google Data Studio is an option to create integrated reports. But for those who are not there yet, PPT, PDF reports are also an option. Thank you so much, Duncan, for today.
No problem at all. Yes, good to chat to you, and keep up the good work, because Spike, like all your benchmarking data, and I mean I suppose the other thing that we really do like is all the competitor analysis. So we'll certainly in terms of insights, when we first start working with a business, we'll look at brands that we know that they not only compete with but aspire to be more like. So if there's a business with 10 times more reach and maybe they're 10 times bigger, from a commercial perspective, and we can use Social Insider for looking at their popular posts and their high engagement posts and things like that. So it's all really good stuff.
Great, thank you. Yeah, cool. Looking into competitive data is a strategic strategy that anyone could use to improve their engagement on social. Good. So thank you so much, and have a great day.
Yeah, you too. Thanks, Adina.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.